Hello and welcome to another episode of the MMK Show. Today we have just M&M on the show and Kay will not be joining us. But today we're going to be talking about CrediLinq and how you can grow your Amazon business through strategic funding. Hi Mark, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Megala. Well, back in the land of the cold from the heat, Vietnam. I'm in a jumper.
Yes, Vietnam was so much fun, right?
Yes, it was great and very warm though. It was 38 degrees every day.
Yeah, and humid too. I think that's just one thing that I don't like about Vietnam. It's very humid. Otherwise,
Yeah,
the
this
weather is
time,
really nice.
just this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the trade show was pretty good. I mean, we had a booth there, and I mean, it was pretty awesome. The products that we saw at the trade show and the factories that we visited was amazing, right?
Yes, we found actually some really good return other suppliers than we had last year, and yeah, a couple of them were actually awesome. I know Megala was doing some recordings there and things. So yeah, some really neat products. So if anyone's looking to go into seagrass, rattan, any of that type of materials, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we want to remind everyone that India sourcing trip October 2024 is coming up pretty soon. And we have a super early bird offer that's going on that actually ends today, April 30th. So if you are looking to source from India, this is the best way to start sourcing just by going there. And this is, an 8-day trip where you learn all about sourcing from India. You visit an export-focused trade show, and you also experience some of India's cultural aspects. We also do a visit to the Taj Mahal, for example. So if you book early, there are, of course, a few different advantages. One, you can get a discount on the ticket. And secondly, you can also book flights at a lower rate because you're booking way in advance. And you can pay for the trip in 4 installments instead of the usual three. So there are a few different advantages. Go ahead to indiasourcingtrip.com to get more information, or you can even reach out to Margaret and myself if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to help you. So, Mark, what is your favorite part of India sourcing trip?
Well, I've just realised it's only 5 months away, so it's time to start getting myself organised again. It comes around so quick. Look, I think the fair, it's just amazing. You'll never see the products in India if you don't go to the fair, because online there's very, very limited products. I know we've got, a lot on our website, but you've got to go and touch and feel them to actually feel the quality and see how each store is slightly different. It's not like you walk along and it's same every booth. They have, each sort of manufacturer has their own spin on it, I would say, and it might be a similar product, but it might be made with a different metal, or it might have a different technique for the handles or something. So they're always different. That you won't find you're selling against a lot of people with the same product, which I think is what you need. You don't want to be copied with everyone else.
Exactly. You need unique products. And I mean, the same case in Vietnam and India. I think both countries offer such unique products that are not offered in China. So, and of course, I think one of the things that we really heard this time, in Vietnam, talking to a lot of different types of buyers. I mean, we came across startups, entrepreneurs, Amazon sellers, and big, large wholesalers, importers, chain stores, and everybody was there in Vietnam to diversify their sourcing, to mitigate their risk. Like, minimize risk was a phrase that I heard way too many times during the course of the 2 or 3 days that we were there at the exhibition. So everybody is looking to diversify their sourcing and not put all their eggs in one basket. And a China plus one strategy nowadays is not just a nice to have; it is necessary. It is mandatory if you want to
Yeah,
survive
and
long
I
term.
had a couple of people come to the booth and said to me that they were looking to find better products because they found their quality over time in China has really decreased. And one gentleman I spent a couple of hours with, and he had been sourcing from China for 10 years, and he said and he bought some samples of his material, and our sourcing agent's going, this isn't right, it's not made right, look, it's not stretching properly. And he goes, yeah, I know, I've got to fix it. So, and I think so, even though he's been using the same place, they're just quality, they're either cutting corners or I don't know what they're doing. But he was the second person in the same day to come and say that to me. So it's rather interesting. And I don't see, are they just getting sort of trying to cut corners and make more profit? What's the reason why the quality, if you're dealing with them for a long time, I would hope that my quality didn't decrease like that. So that was an interesting comment and we didn't ask them, they just came out, and that was the reason they were looking in Vietnam for better quality products. So
yeah, I think the other thing is that production costs in China have been increasing. Right, that's another thing that quite a few people.
They've gone up a lot. Yeah, whereas I think Vietnam and India are a lot cheaper. If it's labour intensive, you get a lot better sort of costing. And I think things like the rattan, the seagrass, and things like that out of Vietnam, this water harness, and they were spectacular and different, and they're all like hand laboured, like most of it is just done by women weaving the baskets or the edges to the rattan. Or there was the mother of pearl, which I actually went to a factory and watched them, and I couldn't do it for a job, but you sit there with this tiny little speck of mother of pearl and glue it onto a board and make a picture out of it. It can take you hours, but that is how labour intensive it is. So that's where you're going to get the better costings on those sorts of and unique products.
Exactly. Okay, so India sourcing trip dates are October 14th to the 21st, with additional factory tours on the 21st to the 23rd. So check out the website indiasourcingtrip.com, and we look forward to seeing you in India. Okay, so yeah. Oh, I also want to add that we're not going to be doing 2 trips for India from next year. We're only going to be doing 1 trip. So if you do want to visit India, then it's only in October. So October 2024, and the next trip is going to be October 2025, because we want to do Vietnam in April and then India in October. So there's only 1 trip a year for both of these countries. So if you want to join, then October is the time that you should join the India trip. Okay, so excuse me, sorry about my throat. So let me invite our guest today, Sandeep from CrediLinq. He's patiently waiting backstage. Good morning, Sandeep. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Mekla. Good morning, Margaret. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So Sandeep is joining us from Singapore, and it's 9 a.m. over there right now. So Sandeep is from CrediLinq, and we have done a webinar with CrediLinq earlier this month, and we got really good feedback. So we wanted to do another webinar just to sort of talk about how funding can actually be used to grow your Amazon business. And interestingly, Marg and we saw a post today by Andy Slamins, which was so funny. And I mean, Andy actually just got a credit line of $1.5 million, and he was explaining how that's going to really help him scale his business, and the funds are there in case he needs them. And it was really funny. As I was getting ready in the morning, I was like, oh, this is weird. What a coincidence that we saw this post. Yeah, very topical. But we'll go over all of that in a little bit. But Sandeep, you have some slides to share with us real quick to talk about CrediLinq and what are the benefits and advantages of CrediLinq. So do you want to go ahead and share your screen? And then
absolutely.
Get started.
Absolutely.
I should actually tag Andy in the post, Marg, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do that. So it's funny, we're not able to live stream into our group because StreamYard has made some changes. So I'll have to share the post in the group now from the page. Okay. All right, Sandeep. So over to you.
Great.
You can see your slides. Yeah, go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mekla and Margaret, for having me on the show. So basically, I'm Chief Product Officer of CrediLinq, so where I handle all the product strategy and vision of CrediLinq. So our recent product, which we launched, is the Amazon Seller Financing, which is basically a tailor-made product for Amazon sellers. In a sense, I mean, for all the e-commerce sellers. So let me take you a brief about how exactly this product is about, what this product is about, and to give a sense in terms of how it's basically solving the problems of the Amazon sellers, right? So who is CrediLinq, right? So CrediLinq is basically, we are a certified fintech by Singapore Fintech Association, as well as we are authorized by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which is Monetary Authority of Singapore is basically the regulated authority of, it's a kind of a central bank of Singapore, right? So we are regulated by Monetary Authority of Singapore. So our solution basically is about bespoke solution for Amazon sellers, right? So uh, let me give you a sense in terms of what exactly we are trying to solve in terms of financing for the Amazon sellers. So if you look at the cash flow cycle of typical e-com sellers in general, right? So this is quite different from that of a traditional businesses. Whereas you need to pay for the inventory, then you need to stock up this inventory for the sales, and once the sales takes place, right? So over a period of time, once you build the traction, you need more money to stock up more inventories. Like, so this is the cycle. And also it takes approximately 2 weeks of time to realize this cash back from Amazon once a sale has happened, right? So all these nitty-gritties are there when it comes to selling on an e-com marketplace like Amazon. So our product is basically to as tailor-made to solve these particular challenges. So that's why, I mean, it's a bespoke solution for Amazon sellers. And how we approach is quite different from that of any banks or traditional financial institutions. So traditional lenders follow a cookie cutter sort of an approach by uploading the bank statements, or you need to send the bank statement and the financial statements to them. They do this assessment, and it takes almost like a week or so to get back to the borrowers whether it is approved or not, right? So then they offer a term loan, right? So an EMI where fixed monthly installment need to be paid back to the lender. So we don't follow this kind of an approach. Where what we do is that we uh, get these, we give the line of credit. It's basically a credit line or umbrella credit to these sellers purely based on Amazon sales data. That's all we require, right? So we don't need bank statement, we don't need financial statement or anything, or we don't need personal guarantees or collaterals, right? So our credit decision also is like it happens within 24 hours, right? So it's very quick, and once it is approved, so they should be able to withdraw money as and when they require, right? So it's a pay as you use fund. So if we give uh, a line of credit, like say for example up to $2 million, right? So we give line of credit up to $2 million. If we give, if you are given a $2 million credit line and you require maybe $100,000 now, so you withdraw $100,000, you pay back a service fee for that $100,000. And if you don't take any money out of that, $2 million which is allocated to you, you don't need to pay anything, right? So as long as you withdraw money, you need to pay back with a service fee. It's as simple as that. So it's basically, that's why we say that you are in control. You choose the amount, you choose the repayment duration, and basis which you pay us back the principal as well as the service fee. So that's how the product is constructed. We're specifically taking into consideration the pain points of the e-commerce, the sellers. And another aspect what we taken into consideration while designing this product is that Amazon sellers typically sell in multiple marketplaces, right? So it can be in United States, America, I mean Canada, US, can be in Europe, can be Asia, Australia, etc. The same seller can be present in multiple marketplaces. So we also took into consideration that okay, the same seller can sell it to multiple marketplaces. So your sales data can be in multiple, in Amazon marketplaces. So how do we take all these into consideration to give you a line of credit, which actually makes sense for the sellers, right? So that's the reason we are present. We can support merchants based in all these 9 locations currently: USA, Canada, UK, Spain, Indonesia, Japan, uh, the Australia, Netherlands, etc. So total 9 countries we support, apart from other countries as well, right? So you can get in touch with us, and we can actually enable the marketplaces in other countries apart from this as well. So that's one of the key USPs which we have, which we consider this as a USP, because no other lenders in the market actually is spread across all these marketplaces. Yeah. So coming to the other, the how we have tailor made this Amazon, this Amazon seller financing for sellers is primarily taking into consideration the borrower pain points, right? So typically in obtaining the loans from traditional financiers, one is that if you get a loan from traditional financiers, you are committed for a term loan, right? So you have to pay back an equated monthly installment, irrespective of whether you have made sales in that particular period or not, right? So it's not a very short term; it's a long term loan, and it has got fixed monthly installments, and typically it ranges from 12 to 24 months at least, right? So, but typically taking into consideration the pain points of the e-com sellers, right? So you need a short-term loan basically, right? So when you need to stock up inventory, you need certain loan, and once a sale has realized, once you make sales in Amazon, so you'll be able to make that payment back, right? So you want to give that flexibility, you want to have that flexibility to choose the amount and the repayment tenor that suits your business requirements, right? So that's how the product has been designed. And you don't need to pay, for example, as I said that previously, that if you're given a limit of $2 million, so you don't need to pay for that $2 million unless and until you start utilizing it. It's like a credit card, right? So you swipe it, you start, you use that amount, a certain amount, and you need to pay it back after a certain period, right? So it's similar to that, that you withdraw money and you need to pay back only for the amount which you have withdrawn. So that's how we have designed this particular the product to give flexibility to Amazon sellers. Coming to the prerequisite, right? So what is the eligibility criteria? So broadly, you can look at two main points when it comes to the eligibility criteria. You need to be on Amazon platform for at least 3 months. So that's the minimum criteria. And monthly turnover should be more than $10,000 or equivalent in any other currency. So that's basically the criteria. So no other criteria, we look into that, right? So apart from that, you also need to have the KYC document, which is basically, we are a regulated entity by Monetary Authority of Singapore. So we need to comply with the KYC requirement. So we will ask for certain documents like business registration certificates, your director KYC, your identity document, and things like that, which is typical for any other lender. But when it comes to coming to assessing your eligibility, so we only look at two things primarily. One is the 3 months of transactions on Amazon platform and your monthly turnover. Coming to the how the product construct is about, right? So you will get a sense in terms of what are the fees and charges, what are the documents required, and to make you eligible for this line of credit. So typically, we don't need any documents for any financial documents. In fact, we don't ask for bank statements, we don't ask for financial statement, we don't ask for any of such documents. We just need your authorization to share to access the Amazon sales data for the past at least 3 months. So that's all we require. So you can authorize us in Amazon app or Seller Central and give us access to the sales data, and that's all is required. And when it comes to fees and charges, so it's a single fee, right? So we charge only a flat fee based starting from 1.5 percentage per month. So it again depends on the risk profile of the borrower. So it starts from 1.5 percentage per month. So we don't charge any processing fee. There is no disbursal fee. There is no origination fee. There is no other fee, right? So for example, if you draw down, right, so $100 for 30 days, right? So and your service fee is 1.5 percentage per month, you need to pay us back that 1.5 percentage along with the principal. So that's about it, right? So there is no other additional fee that we charge for sellers. So to give you an example, right? So you are drawing down $100, right? So for 30 days, so we actually deduct $1.5 upfront. So you will get in your bank account $98.5 upfront, right? So after 30 days, you need to pay us back, $100. So that's how we have structured the product. So we don't charge any other fee apart from this. And yes, coming to the promotional offer, so we have partnered with ISN. So use the promo code of ISN. So we will give you a rebate up to $10,000, right? So based on the drawdown amount. So once you have authorized, once we give a line of credit, we will give you more details about how this rebate works, and you can be eligible for up to $1,000 of rebate if you use the promo code ISN. Yeah, so that's about it, Mekhla. So I think sellers might have got a good understanding about our product, right? So any questions? Happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Sandeep. And everybody watching, let us know if you have any specific questions. But I think a couple of questions. I'm sure Mark will have some, thoughts as well. But so let's say if somebody sells on Amazon and Walmart and multiple marketplaces, would you be able to combine sales of all marketplaces when looking at their total sales? Like the prerequisite is $10,000 per month.
Yeah.
Is that per marketplace, or can you combine sales of different marketplaces to reach that threshold?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So basically, I mean, yeah, so we are currently live on Amazon platform. So we have partnered with Amazon for this. So uh, we will not be able to, at present, we will not be able to combine these sales across other marketplaces like Walmart and like Shopify, etc. So eventually, we'll be enabling those channels as well. So currently, we are present in 9 different marketplaces of Amazon. As I said, that in different countries. So at present, we are only present in Amazon.
Okay. But you are expanding to others as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Can we combine, sales of different Amazon marketplaces? So let's say UK, US, different geographies.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So that's what one of the USPs of a product, that because typically the sellers will be present across multiple marketplaces. They'll be selling in US, in Europe, etc. So we combine sales across all these marketplaces where a seller is present to give a line of credit which makes sense for their business, right? So we combine all this Amazon marketplace data.
Yeah.
And I think something that's really good is that you obviously, if you want to apply for it, you don't have to pay a $500 fee, application fee, which in a lot of banks, you walk in there and they want a fee just to even start looking at your paperwork. So really, you could apply for a line of credit, have as a backup or an emergency, and for a whole year not use it. Can they still, if they don't use it in the first year, are they welcome to come back again and renew that line of credit, or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have made it very simple for Amazon sellers. So you are eligible, say, for example, for $1 million worth of line, but for some reason you have not used it, right? So for that entire 1 year period, right? So, but you can still come back, and once you give access to your data, Amazon Marketplace data, so there can be auto renewal process as well at the end. So we'll get in touch with the seller and ask them that whether we would like to auto renew this for the next 1 year, and we will renew that basis that Amazon seller data.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's no fee, there's nothing, there's no penalty, etc. if you don't use it. So yeah, so that's how we.
And just say you applied, early days, and you were just doing 10,000 a month for your first, 3 months, and you thought, oh, I'll get some money, and then all of a sudden your business takes off and you're doing 100,000 a month. After say 6 months, can you say, can I increase that, or is that once it's set in concrete, it's set in concrete for 12 months, that line of credit?
Yeah, excellent question. So basically, how the product is structured is that, say, for example, you've got a line of credit of $10,000 based on, or maybe $100,000 based on your existing sales record, and suddenly, and after maybe a few months, your sales have taken off and it has become like 2x, 3x, etc. So essentially, what we do is that, since you have given the authorization for us to access your Amazon sales data, so our underwriting engine, our credit decisioning engine, right? So we'll relook into this sales data, and it will actually bump up your credit limit, right? So from, say, for example, from 100,000 to maybe 200,000 or 300,000 based on your current sales data, right? So as and when your sales increases, automatically you will get an intimation from us that, hey, your sales have increased, so you are now eligible for 300,000, right? So would you like to go ahead with that? So you can give a consent to us, and we will increase your the limit accordingly. also this takes into account this, your repayment track record as well as your utilization also, are a factor in increasing the credit limit. But yes, if the sales, when the sales increases, provided you're paying back us on time and also your utilization is optimal, we will automatically bump up your credit limit.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, and also, it doesn't have to be for stock, does it? I mean, people could be doing it for using the money for marketing. You don't know what people actually spend that line of credit for. You just put that money into their account and they can do whatever they like for it in that time. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. I mean, so basically, I mean, it's about right. So our assumption here is that Amazon sellers will be using this money for their marketing expenses as well as stocking up inventory and things like that. But it's a open-ended sort of credit line, whereas they can draw down based on their working capital requirement and pay us back within that particular tenure which they have selected.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Interesting. Mark, I just want to share screen and show Andy's post to everyone. What do you think?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Let's just go through his post and see, how he's using. So he says, let's see if I can increase the font size. Yeah, we obtained our first 1.5 million working capital line of credit. It was actually much easier than I thought it would be. And I mean, he hasn't used CrediLinq, of course, or has he? We don't know, but yeah, probably not. But so they have done 40 million worth of products and have never had to take a loan since they started. My partner and I both invested 100K and we've been able to build from that. We are scaling from 13.8 million in 2023 to 20 million in 2024. So cash flow became tight for us during our 6-year-old business. We are seasonal business right now, so paying for all the inventory before the season started in 2024 was the biggest cash flow crunch we've experienced so far. And this is something that you and I were also talking about, Mark, is that it's usually sellers would really benefit from using these sort of the credit line right before, say, Christmas or, when they're stocking up
if you
for
do
seasonal
Halloween
sale, right?
or Valentine's, something
Yeah.
where you need, maybe your biggest sales and you might need double the volume or triple the volume of stock for that particular month or 2 months. I mean, this is the no-brainer. And this is, to me, I know it's an expense, but do you want to not have the money or, how else are you going to get these funding for that short amount of time? So I think, unless you've got a huge credit card, it's the only other way you could possibly do it. And I mean, then, that's not as easy to do. So I think this to me is like, a great way for Amazon sellers. And the fact that you don't need to put up any security, any collateral, there's nothing at all. I mean, CrediLinq are actually taking a really big risk with you because they're relying on your, I suppose, honesty to pay it back. Because normally, if you go to a bank, they want your house and your car to get you the car. I mean, they're not, they don't really give anything away for free. They want to own you as well. So I think, this is just, such a good way. And I know now, I remember a few years ago when we first started, quite a few people we knew were trying to go to a bank and borrow money for Amazon. And you walk into the bank and say, oh, yeah, I want to borrow money. I'm selling on Amazon. And they just laugh and send you out the door because, they can't get hold of your stock. They've got nothing to hold as collateral unless they took a loan against your home. So I think this is so much simpler, cost-free. And if you don't use it, it doesn't matter. It costs you a bit of time to fill out an application.
Yeah, absolutely. So seasonal business, if you do have seasonal products, this is great for those types of products. And yes, we have some really good terms with suppliers, and we are working on getting better terms with other suppliers. We carry a very healthy balance sheet, but aggressive growth goals ate into this last year. So we applied for our first working line of credit. So let's see if he says anything about how he's going to use it, because
no, he had to put up his inventory. See, he's had to secure. They've got.
We had to put our inventory up as collateral, which is better than having to personal guarantee it, I think. So what about this, Sandeep? I mean, for CrediLinq, do they have to put up their inventory as collateral?
No. So that's another because when we were surveying this Amazon seller ecosystem, right? So one of the pain point what they mentioned is exactly this, that you need to put up some collateral to get that kind of a credit limit, because this person has received 1.5 million in line, because that's a huge amount. So typically all the lenders, including fintechs, will ask for this collateral. So CrediLinq doesn't doesn't ask for any collateral. So we don't need collateral from Amazon sellers. It's completely unsecured loan, right? So, and we give up to $2 million in credit line, right? So it's purely based on your Amazon sales history. You just need to authorize to share the historical Amazon sales data across all your marketplaces. That's all we require, right? So we don't need any personal guarantee or collaterals or anything of that sort.
Right. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest advantages. Um, and so, what is the difference? Like, is because it's an unsecured loan, is the rate that you charge or the fee that you charge, is that higher than others? I mean, what is there a catch over here because you don't ask for any collateral, you charge higher fees? Is there anything like that, or I mean, is your fee competitive compared to other service providers?
Our fee, we believe that our fee is competitive compared to the other financiers or the lenders, including the banks, etc. Because typically what they do is that they keep their monthly or the rate of interest a little bit lower than what we charge, but they compensate that with the processing fee, disbursement fee, admin fee, and things like that, right? So overall, if you look at it, the APR becomes much higher, right? So than what you see, what is mentioned. So we don't, charge any processing fee, any admin fee, origination fee, anything of that. So we typically charge, a service fee, which is a flat fee. As I said, that it starts from 1.5% per month, right? So and depending on the credit profile of the sellers. So that's all we require, right? So and how we mitigate the risk, right? So I mean, you must be surprised that it's like we are giving $2 million worth of line, up to 2 million, but we don't require any collaterals from the sellers. So how we mitigate risk is through monitoring, right? So the monitoring this data of these sales data of these Amazon sellers, and also your repayment track record, right? So that's how we mitigate our risk. And we truly believe in the seller ecosystem, and we would like to solve the pain points of these Amazon sellers by giving the product what actually makes a difference for them, and also for their growth.
Right. Yeah, very interesting. I thought this comment was quite interesting as well on Andy's post, Mark. So Craig is saying we used ours seasonally, and only really for periods of growth. We used it sparingly and paid it down as quickly as possible. So I think that's the key over here. You don't want to, want to pay it over a year. Just pay it as soon as you can. I believe we've used it to buy inventory, and that had a good track record heading into a busy season. We didn't use it to buy new unproven inventory because that could easily backfire on us. I think that's a great strategy too. So just make sure that you're able to recover that money really quickly. I'm pretty cautious of debt, so I tend to use it more in case of emergency. Others leverage debt. Okay, so this is just sort of his thoughts. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting to see this post this morning as we were, just going into this. So let me just see if there are any other interesting. No, I think that was the one. Yeah.
But it's quite interesting. But I think, like anything, you don't want to think, oh, well, I can get $1 million and I'm going to buy all these products and I'm going to list it all and then not be able to afford to pay it back, because that's where it becomes very expensive. So I think, you've got to be sensible in this. It's not, a check to just go crazy. It's got to be handled, with caution, like anything else. I mean, just because they'll give you the credit doesn't mean to say you have to spend every cent of it. So that would be my thing. Just, buy a wee bit and start doing it small, borrow some and scale for 3 months. And then if that's working, and then you can come back, and now we know you don't have to reapply. If your business is really successful, that credit is going to be sitting there waiting for you. So then, if you need to do another order, you've got that line of credit just maybe to get you for a month or two, when it's on the water and you're running out of stock and you can get it going. You don't have to borrow it for 6 months. I mean, it can be 1 or 2 months just to get you through. So you don't want to be eating away that bit of Amazon profit that we're, struggling to make because of their fees going up. So you've got to be very cautious, I think, that you don't, overcommit yourself and then, get yourself, because you've got all this stock that's not moving. I think and now it's so much easier that you can do it and get that credit on a merit basis throughout the year. So each time you do a stock order, you should be able to get more stock if it's working. I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, awesome. So, Sandeep, we'll start wrapping up here. Is there anything else that you'd like to highlight, point out?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, in a sense, right? So as you have seen that our product is basically, we have designed this product to solve the key pain points of these Amazon sellers. Right now, we have made it as simple as possible, right? And not like typical other lending products, right? So it actually solves the cash flow problems. That's what we believe, and also the credit limit is pretty, up to $2 million, which actually caters to even large sellers, which you have, just now mentioned, right? So, and it's unlike other lenders, like which requires personal guarantees and collaterals, etc. We don't require any of them, right? So happy to discuss further, and we can have a one-on-one call with sellers to, if they have any specific questions. Happy to have a call with them.
Yeah, cool. And CrediLinq is also offering a free ebook. So if you go to, just one second, if you go to bit.ly/CrediLinq, you can download this ebook on Amazon financing. So that's bit.ly/CrediLinq. And you can also find this link in the description of the post wherever you're watching, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. You can find the link over there in the description. Okay, so thank you so much, Sandeep, for joining us today. And we're very excited about CrediLinq, and I'm sure a lot of sellers will find it useful in coming months and years, especially as we move into Q4. Yes, Mark.
Just sort of something we didn't tell people, that the people that don't know, and it's quite funny, we were talking to someone at our trip who didn't know that Amazon has withdrawn their credit line facility. So anyone who was thinking, oh, I'll just go to Amazon and get some money, no more. That was stopped, I think, was it 2 months ago, Sandeep? You probably remember.
Yeah, 1.5 months back, yeah.
Yeah, back at 1st of March or April, yeah. So that's something that a lot of people don't know. So this has come in to me at a perfect time because, that was a backstop for a lot of people to be able to get some, Amazon credit, which worked the same as this basically. The sales were there, Amazon would lend you the money against those sales because they had your money. So if you went bad there, they just keep whatever they've got, a little bit different. You don't have the luxury of being able to keep the money. But so that's something that people should take into account as well, that you can't get Amazon finance any longer.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's wrap up here. And before we go, quick reminder that India Sourcing Trip Super Early Bird tickets are available currently. Today's the last day that you can get Super Early Bird offers. We've already had quite a few people who've signed up. And a few quick advantages of signing up early. First of all, you can pay in 4 monthly installments instead of 3. You can avail low airfare when you book your flights early. We've got a super discount of $500 on the ticket price. You can work with suppliers to develop your samples before the trip. So this is a huge advantage, and this will help you make the most of your trip over there. So instead of having to start developing samples when you're there, you can start working on creating samples before the trip, and then once you're there, visit your factories, meet your suppliers, and place orders. So it'll just speed up the entire process significantly. Plus, we're also giving you a free 1-hour consultancy with the India Sourcing Network team if you avail of this super early bird offer. Okay, so those are some of the advantages. Go to indiasourcingtrip.com to get more information. So let's sign off with this. Sandeep, once again, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week with another show. Bye.